Hello and welcome. In this video, I will introduce AssetLink. AssetLink is a powerful mobile app for farmOS, which aims to connect users with their farmOS data via a simple, offline-capable interface. In this video, I will briefly introduce AssetLink's default user experience, then I will share why I built AssetLink, some of its most exciting features, and where I hope to take AssetLink in the future. AssetLink is installed in a farmOS instance as a module and provides a few interface features directly within the farmOS site. Most important of these is the AssetLink floating sidebar, which appears on the asset page in farmOS and is the main ingress into AssetLink. AssetLink is what's known as a progressive web app, or PWA, which means that AssetLink runs in your existing mobile or desktop browser, but leverages features of the browser to provide an experience more like a typical mobile application. This includes working offline and installing the PWA like a regular app on your phone's home screen. When AssetLink loads its floating sidebar, it also caches the whole AssetLink application in the background. At this point, you can go offline and still have access to that asset in AssetLink. Either online or offline, clicking the Open in AssetLink link from the floating sidebar brings us to the AssetLink view of that same asset. You will immediately notice that only certain information is available in AssetLink. Keeping the interface minimal and task-oriented has been one of my top priorities in developing AssetLink. The asset page in AssetLink shows key information and allows taking predefined actions on the asset. Like almost everything in the AssetLink user interface, these actions are defined by plugins, and it is expected that the available actions will be customized to match each farm's needs. The available actions are also asset-specific, so the actions for field crops can be different from those for livestock or forestry. Here we will demonstrate moving this tractor to an existing field. In addition to actions on assets, we can view the existing photos for an asset or upload new ones. Changes including our earlier movement and the photo to be uploaded appear in a synchronization progress tray. Once we go online, as I will do now, the pending changes will get pushed to the farmOS instance and become visible to other users. We can close AssetLink with pending changes and they will be stored in the browser's storage until we open AssetLink again, and they can be pushed to farmOS. AssetLink also provides the ability to search for assets by name, QR code, or proximity. If we were still offline, the search results would include only the data that AssetLink already knows about. We can work with farmOS logs and AssetLink indirectly as a result of actions like I showed earlier, or via the tasks page, which is here. The tasks page shows us upcoming, late, and recently completed logs. We can also create new basic logs from here. Clicking on a log takes us to a view of that log. Just like with assets, only certain information and actions are available for logs in AssetLink. We can view or add photos, view or modify the notes, and mark the log as complete or pending. That concludes my brief introduction of AssetLink's default user experience. There are many more little features and details that I will skip here for the sake of brevity. Next, I want to share why I have built AssetLink. We have between 50 and 100 rabbits at any one time. It becomes very tedious to track movements of rabbits between cages along with various care and breeding records. In our previous farmOS 1.x installation, I had an application I had written called RabbitLink, which was hard-coded to many of our rabbit management and data-keeping needs. It proved indispensable, and more than that, we kept asking ourselves why we didn't have the same offline and quick record-keeping capabilities for our other farm tasks. Thus, when the time came to build something similar for farmOS 2.x, I decided to widen my scope and build the same features, but in a more generic and extensible manner, so they work for any kind of farming task. I also wanted to share what I was building with the community. So that is how AssetLink was born. I can't talk about motivations for AssetLink without touching on the topic of FieldKit. There's always been a bit of tension about whether I should build something completely new or build on top of and maybe contribute to FieldKit. So far, I have wanted to build AssetLink so that I could experiment with a different granularity of an extension model and the concept of directly integrating the app into farmOS instead of having it hosted under a separate domain. I think there is value to both strategies, and I look forward to seeing what both projects can learn from each other. Perhaps they will go together and/or find different niches in the farmOS ecosystem. Anyway, back to AssetLink. Perhaps AssetLink's most exciting foundational feature is its super fine-grained extension model. That is, the way in which almost every aspect of AssetLink's user interface is defined by plugins. These plugins can be edited or disabled individually, so customizing AssetLink for your farm can happen quickly and easily. If users on your farm know how to code, they can edit AssetLink plugins directly in their browser and share the resulting improvements with each other, enabling an unprecedented ease of peer-to-peer tool building in AssetLink. Because most users on farms probably won't want or be able to write new plugins as code, AssetLink supports arbitrary data files as plugins. This makes it possible to have one plugin which specifies a new plugin format. That in turn means that instead of authoring new plugins as code, they could be authored via a quick UI form. It also means that plugin formats can be created which are provably safe to share without security implications. As a proof of concept for that, I built an example plugin which handles a new plugin format whose plugins end with .alink.act.json. The code for that is pretty involved, but the result is that the new asset actions can be authored as simple JSON files. The JSON files aren't much more human-readable or writable than the plugin code would have been for the same action, but the next step would be to make an editor for the JSON file format, which would make creating and editing plugins in the new format much more user-friendly. Which brings me to the last topic for this video, the future direction of AssetLink. AssetLink is nearing its alpha release. This video is part of my upcoming efforts to improve the user-facing documentation about AssetLink and hopefully work with some early adopters to find bugs and shape the near-term feature set. Some potential features I am excited about include a default action data format and editor as described above, mobile map integration, and perhaps a curated community plugin repository. I will include links in the video description to the AssetLink issue queue and the farmOS forum, where I welcome all feedback and contribution ideas. Until next time, thanks for watching.